All right, update page time. So first things first, we're going to do basically the same thing we did on our listing page. We're going to need a place to store our product after we get it back from the API. Um, so same way we did that on the listing, we'll do const product. I'll make this singular because we're only fetching one for update. And I'll do product step product equals use state. Give it a type of product get DTO. Perfect. Started out as nothing. Add that import. Cool. So we have a place to store our product. Now what we need to do is actually make our function for fetching the product. So we'll do that again the same way. Use effect and make our little function here. Async function. This is going to be fetch product and no parameters here. Cool. So const response equals await API dot get, and the route will be slash API slash product slash ID. So we're going to need to replace this ID with an actual value. In this example, it'll be like 2. So we need to actually get that in there somehow. Now, React Router DOM, which is the library that controls what gets shown on the screen whenever you go to a specific route, like products or home or whatever, that determines what actual component gets rendered. They also have a really cool thing built in for grabbing the query parameters or route parameters. So we'll do const ID equals use params. We need to capitalize that P, add that import, and now we're good. So if we look and I do here, I'll do product ID ID. And we save that product ID 2. And just to prove that it shows up from here, we'll go to 1 and product ID 1 is now populated. So now that we have that ID, in order to put it in this string, we're going to replace these two normal quotes with a backtick, which is the button right next to your 1 key. So API slash product slash, get rid of ID, $ curly brace ID. And what this is going to do is it's going to take the value of ID and put it inside of this string. So we'll end up going to slash API slash products slash 2. So now that we get our response, we'll do the same if response, forgot to give this a type, API.get, API response of type product get DTO. Close both of those off. So now if response.data, dot has errors, show notification. And we'll give it the message of error finding products and the color of red. Perfect. If response.data. Oh, that's why I messed that up. Cool. If response.data set product to data. Beautiful. So now we're fetching it on page load. Once I put this little line right here, we're fetching it. We're setting the product in here. Now we need to actually start building out our form. So we'll do const mantine form equals use form. And this also takes in a type. And this is going to be the type of the values we're sending in on submission. So this will be product create update DTO. And we'll set our initial values to product itself, because that is going to have the same like name, description, cost on here. They're just going to be set to undefined and on initial load. So we'll end up with blank for now, but we'll address that in a second. So let's start making our form. So I'm going to get rid of that and make this a container. Import that from Mantine. Cool. Next thing we do, form. And on submit equals Mantine form dot on submit. Good enough for now. So then we'll do a really cool input thing. And we're going to, because Mantine has wrappers around their input, they allow you to do really cool things. So we'll do what's called a text input. And this is going to be specific to only taking in text, like string stuff. So for like a name, a description, this works perfect. And we'll spread ... Mantine form dot get input props for name. And you see we get that IntelliSense because it knows based on like the product we gave it, all that fun stuff, what needs to be there. Get input props for name. What we're also going to do, because again, like I said, this is a wrapper, they made it really, really cool, is we're just going to say label equals name, and we'll say with asterisk to denote that this is a required field for the user to give me. Then I'll copy this same exact thing, and I'll do description and description. Perfect. So now there's two fields, but in order to get this to compile, I need to give it non-submit function. So I'll go ahead and I'll make that real quick. So I'll do... Well, I forgot my dependency array because I'm a little silly. So again, don't forget that if you want it to run as many times as it's supposed to, not infinitely. So now I'll build my submission function. So I'll do const submit product equals async, and we'll do values is a product create update DTO. Cool. Const response equals await API dot put expect back API response of product get DTO. And we're going to go to route slash API slash products slash. And then this is where we also need to send up an ID of the one we're updating. So we'll just do the exact same thing we did here. I'll just copy and paste that exactly. And with a put, we have to send up the body, which is going to be... So we see 2 arguments expected, but we only got 1. So we need to give an argument for data, which will be values. And that will be the type of data we're going to send up in the body of this request. And we'll do the exact same, like I'm just going to actually copy these 2 things, not necessarily that. So if there's errors, error updating product, color red. If it's got data, then we can do navigate. Oop, I need to bring that in. Const navigate equals use navigation, I believe. Nope, use navigate. And cool, navigate to routes dot product listing. Perfect. On submit, submit product. Cool. That should be good. Let me save that. So cool. Now we get name and description show up. They have little asterisk to denote they're required. But notice we don't have any default values. So to fix that, what we're going to do is when we're fetching the product, if we have data, we'll go in and we will say Mantine form dot set values to response.data.data and Mantine form dot reset dirty. Perfect. So all this is going to do is going to set the values in the form And that way, this will reset that the way nothing thinks anything has been touched. And then to make sure that this form doesn't render nothing, and then it fetches the product the user typed, and then we reset the values, we want to make sure we don't render the form until the product has come back. So actually, just to demonstrate the issue that could pop up, if I go to here, and I refresh the page, now it's going to take extra long because I actually refreshed the page. So let me take that back. So let me do GPRS, user, products. I want to edit this when I start typing. Then what I typed just showed up there. And I'll show that again if I come here, type, whatever I typed got replaced by whatever comes in. And this will show up better if you have like an actual bad connection, all that stuff. But we don't want that to ever be possible. So we're going to just do the old products and parentheses, take the last two. And put that at the end of the form. So now this form will only ever render once there is data to render. Boom. There's no like empty fields popping up randomly. So there's one problem solved. We have our default values, but we're missing one for our cost. And that's because dealing with dollar sign representations is a little bit more finicky, but there's a nice enough thing built into Mantine that kind of makes it a little easier. So we'll do a number input, and we'll spread ... Mantine form get input props for the price. Perfect. Label equals price and with asterisk. There's also two really important things we can do. So we can give this a parser to tell us how to parse the value that is represented in the input. And we also have a formatter. So that way we can format what gets displayed in a certain way. So that way we can show 1,000 as $10.00 or $1,000, whatever you want to do. So I'll just give these to you guys. There are two little functions that I made to format them. So the formatter, we take in our, might be able to just do that. I'm going to test that. So I'm able to just do format as dollars and parse dollars. So let's see. 535. And if I keep typing, I can get rid of it, and I can do like $100. Yeah, so that works. Perfect. So that way it formats it in like the dollar decimal you expect, but you can continue typing the way you would think you would. So you can like erase everything. $5,025. Boom. And you can increment it by a cent if you want. But I don't like that, so I'm going to do hide controls because I don't like seeing those there. Boom. Much better. Perfect. Now, I want to save this. I want this book to be really expensive. I mean, it's every book ever. $5 was the steal for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here, button, import from Mantine. We'll give it a submit, and we'll say type equals submit, and save. Perfect, but I also want to have a space here with the height equal to 18. Import that, save it. Should get a little gap show up there. Perfect. We'll do a flex. We'll do direction, row. And inside of this, I want to take my button, and I'm going to put another one that says cancel. And we'll do type equals button, and on submit, And when we cancel it, we just want them to go to the product listing page. Submit, cancel. And we could add some padding here in a little bit, but let's see how they want to do it. So let's look at button. Cool. We can give it. Let's do the variant of outline. That one could be cool for us under cancel button. Perfect. So submit is looks like it's the first thing you want to do. Cancel is like a secondary action. And again, this is going to be expensive. It's every book ever. Save that. And the price shows up there, but it's not, it doesn't look good. So I'm actually going to take this same function I did here, go back to the listing, and I'm going to just do format as dollars, product.price. That way it looks a little bit more presentable. So there we go. Now our price looks like an actual price. We have our edit button. Don't want to edit it. I want to cancel. That didn't work. Let's find out why. On click, not on submit. Silly me. So now I hit cancel. It takes me back here. Boom. And now if I take away the name and the description, I hit submit. Error updating product. Let's say I want to show them in line what the errors are. It might be a little bit easier than you think to do that. So this is going to look a little weird, but we'll do const form errors is going to be of type form errors, which we get from Mantine form, equals response dot data dot errors. We're going to do dot reduce. This is a function similar to map, but it takes in a previous value in the array and the current value in the array, so you can do like build things on top of that. And we're going to make it a function, and we'll do object dot assign, and we can see target object to copy to. We're going to copy to previous, and we'll get into what the default value previous is in a second. And then this is the source object to copy properties. And we're going to do that from, we'll make a new object, and we'll do the index at cur.property. So this is basically making a key value pair. The key is the property. The value is the message. Now it's a little weird. And then we just return prev. Cool, so now we can come down here, and similar to how we do a dependency array, we're going to give a default value for our prev. Cool. So all we're going to do is we're reducing this array into a single object, which we're returning as a single object as form errors, which we'll do object.assign to previous, which is first iteration empty object. We're going to, add this to that object, which is property name of name and the message. The next one, property name description and the message get mapped to one single object. And then we can do Mantine form dot set errors to form errors. Perfect. We don't need to show that notification anymore because if I get rid of this, and I get rid of this, and hit submit, it didn't refresh yet. Little anticlimactic there. Let's try it again. Submit. Oh, did I put it in the wrong place? I did put it in the wrong place. Whatever. Control Z, and we'll fix that in a second. Cool. Just put that here in your submit. Don't be dumb like me. So now that it's in the right place, when I hit submit, boom, this gets highlighted red. We get the error message, name must be between 5 and 30 characters, descriptions required. Same thing for price, must be greater than $0. Fine, $10. And this, I'm going to change the name to burger. and it's a burger. Submit. Boom. It worked. So that is how we can show errors in a form. Now, one thing that I do kind of like to do is like if it works, you can show a notification that it worked. So you can do like message product successfully updated and color green. Cool. So that way when I come in here and I do, it's not a burger. It's a not burger. It lets us know that it was updated, and it takes us back here so we can edit the next one we want to edit. Perfect. So there's the update page. And I think I'll just go ahead and I'll do the create page in the same video. This will just be a long one because it's very, very similar to the create page. I'm going to do the create page. It's very similar to the update page. You know what I meant. Product-create.tsx. Cool. Starting all over again. So export const product create equals parentheses arrow function brackets return fragment. Save that. Everything compiles. We're done. Create page done, right? Almost. So this one's easy. We don't have to fetch anything on load. Don't have to worry really about state. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do const mantine form equals use form. Takes in product create update DTO initial values. Name is going to be empty. Description will be an empty string, and price will be 0. Perfect. There's our initial things done. So I'm going to add parentheses here, enter, make this a container. And we do form on submit, same thing as before, mantine form dot on submit should call some function we're going to make later. And because it's so similar, I'm just going to copy the exact same thing that I did here and put it here, and it should just work. Just add all the imports that are needed, save it, and then we need to do const navigate equals use navigate, and that's done. So now submit product equals async function values product create update DTO. And cool, const response. I need to import that apparently, no. I'm dummy. There we go. Equals await API dot post. Helps if I actually import API dot post to /API /products values. And this will just be our create function. Cool. I'll copy the same exact thing as I did here. If it has errors, do that stuff. Otherwise, show the success thing. Successfully created. Green. Add all missing imports. Response. And I got to give this a type here. Of API response of type product get DTO. Perfect. And then I just pass this function in here. Save that. And now I need to actually make a way to get to it. So again, do the same thing. We'll go in here, product, create, /product /create. Cool. We go to config, and we just copy this thing here. Creates routes.product create. Cool. So that part's all done now. What we'll do, we'll go to our listing page. We'll do flex here. Add that import direction is row. And let me grab the end of that, put that there. The next thing I want is to have a button. Import from Mantine. And we'll do an icon, because icons are great. Icon equals FA plus. Let's see why I didn't get IntelliSense there. Weird. I'm going to try that again. I feel like it imported it wrong. I don't know what this is going to look like. Nothing. For some reason, it's not wanting to work. What the heck? What the whole heck? What do you have? I'm just going to do FA plus. Just bring that in manually. For some reason, it's not wanting to do it itself. Icon FA plus. Perfect. And we'll do new product. There we go. Justify equals space between. That should throw this way over here. Perfect. Header. Let's see if there's a way to get rid of that underline thing. Maybe not. Let's see. Core. We're looking for typography, maybe. Title. Title's probably what I want. Cool. And this is going to be order equals 1. Maybe not that quite so big. Let's do 3. Looks a little bit better. I think 2 is going to be perfect. Cool. So then button on click equals navigate routes.product create. Boom. See if I can make this make a space for me. Cool, now there's like a space between there. New product takes me here, hit submit, and we get errors. Perfectly what I wanted. Now, I noticed there's one issue on the back end in the create that was made. This needs to be named description, and this should also be changed to description. Apply those changes. And let's see if it worked. Cool, description is required. So there we go. So now if we do, let's see, hot dog. Sam. And it's a $10 hot dog. Boom. Product created, we can edit that. Sam. Boom. So there you go. That should kind of get you guys a lot of the basics as far as like form errors and navigating between pages goes. Like you have your update, listing, create. I guess I can show probably a quick delete. I don't know. I don't think there actually is a delete that's made on this controller. Um, but delete would work very, very similar to this like edit button here, where like instead of navigating to it, you'd have like another button that's like an X, and it just calls into your like delete product function that just takes in an ID and calls into your API.delete with your delete route. Should be very easy, exactly like this, just calling into an API function. That should be a lot of what you guys are going to be doing. Is this covers the listing, create, the update, errors, notifications, going between pages. There's a little bit of like spacing, and like you can put a space there if you want to. Like you can literally just come in here between your two buttons and do like space, and then do W equals. I want like 8 pixels between them, and then boom, there's now a little gap there. Perfect. Do the same thing on here. Let me copy this space, go to create, or my 2 buttons. Boom, there should be a space there once it refreshes. Done. Space, new one, submit, errors. Everything should kind of work. Again, just be aware. Oh, there's one thing that I did forget to go over in the listing video. Whenever you map over anything, you'll see I get this error saying each child in a list should have a unique key prop. I think I kind of went over this in class, but basically all we got to do is do key equals product dot ID, and that should be unique enough to get that error to go away. So if I refresh this, we should not get the error saying that they don't have a unique prop, all that stuff. So that should be everything you need to know to get started. If there's any questions, use the Discord. Yeah, good luck.